Welcome back to the Rice Report, everybody. Today's video is going to be a very quick, one simple topic video for you, and it's going to be between El Salvador and the Trump's comments at the RNC as well as his rally on Saturday. Now, Trump said that he talked about Venezuela emptying their prisons. There are nations all around the world emptying their prisons, and they are finding their way to the United States southern border and the northern border, which no one talks about. However, they're here, and they are here from Venezuela, El Salvador, Guatemala, all over the world. So his statement is not incorrect, but I will say that for the panic that ensues on the video, because everyone wants a new leader who's doing good things to be a perfect idol and idolize them as perfection, this is simply historically not true. There is no such thing as a perfect human being. There's only been one, and he was only half human. And at the same time, we also have to be able to step back and stop idolizing people and really searching for the truth. So let's examine the statement. Now, in the video circulating around the internet, he says, this guy in El Salvador, the media keeps saying he's training his criminals. He's not. He's releasing them into the United States. That is true and false at the same time. Criminals in El Salvador fled to Guatemala. They end up here. They're not getting direct transport. However, the statement is true. Now, Bukele, in my opinion, has done an incredible job in that nation, an incredible job. A complete turnaround. Dozens of people that I know, and I want to go, but dozens of people I know who have visited there, lived there, or have family there, all say the same thing. This is not the same country we had a few years ago. We should applaud that on a global scale. I believe that these small countries are the proxy for what's to come in larger nations. It's the test. But let's look into this situation logistically and logically. Now, when Bukele took office, about a year before, actually almost a month before he took office, the previous president signed a gigantic trade deal with China. It was soccer stadium financing. They offered infrastructure and to build a new stadium in exchange for cash at a very low interest rate, and they gave away a large portion of El Salvador to the Chinese. They have been doing, and I won't say the Chinese people, the CCP, the Communist Party. Now, they have been doing this for decades in Africa and South America. They have been coming in with their big pockets of money and offering tons of help for infrastructure to build soccer stadiums or entertainment centers or roads or ports in exchange for land for them to be able to build military installations. Everyone should know what soccer stadium financing is. It is happening all around the world, and it continues to this day. Now, before Bukele took office, the previous president signed a contract with China, giving them a huge swath of land and removing the trade deal that actually helped Taiwan profit. That's a major issue most people are not talking about. I'm trying to keep it very simple and quick. Bukele had a chance to reverse this contract a couple of years ago and decided not to, which people will say, well, he must be in bed with them. Well, let me rephrase this and make this simple for you. Bukele walked into the most violent nation in the world that was riddled with crime, run by gang members, and completely corrupt at the political level. He has done as much as a human being can possibly do to clean up his nation, period. Along the way, when he announced that he was going to start rounding up gang members, many of them fled the nation. They were not sent by the administration. They fled the nation, and they have ended up in America. That's factually true. Now, there is one of the MS-13 gang leaders that is currently incarcerated in Houston, and he's singing to the feds. So you have a criminal talking to the feds, and the stories coming out of this are that he is saying that the Bukele administration removed him from prison, took him to Guatemala, and gave him a convoy, weapons, and money to go to the United States. I have no idea whether that's true or not, but I'm telling you the truth and the stories that are out there. I think what Trump is really doing, and mind you, when Bukele started rounding up gang members in a nation completely run by gangs, he really didn't have enough prison space in the country. So prison space is an issue. When he announced and started rounding people up, many gang members fled. One of them was incarcerated, per his story, and given money by the government, not Bukele, but Bukele's administration. As we know, all governments around the world have shadow, deep state governments, whatever you want to call them. We don't know the truth. Trump probably does. He doesn't make many mistakes with accusations. But I think what he's doing is calling attention to El Salvador and putting the spotlight on El Salvador so that people are researching what they're doing there. They are cleaning up that country. There's no way around that. Has he let criminals out? I don't know, but I do know criminals fled when they were going to be arrested, and now there's a guy telling a story that he was assisted by the government. That's the facts. What I really think he's trying to do here is put the spotlight on Bukele and put some pressure on him to reverse this China agreement that he re-upped 2 years after the previous president. Now, this is a much harder decision than most people realize. As a leader of a nation, he has the obligation to fulfill his political commitments during his campaign. And those commitments were to completely revitalize the finances, the politics, the government structure, and the nation at large, which he is doing. But El Salvador is a very poor country, and this is exactly what the Communist Party of China does. They prey upon very poor leaders trying to do good things. And I don't remember any time in the past 4 years the Biden administration offering El Salvador money to make their nation better. So, there's a lot of stuff to look through with this situation. I just want to keep it level-headed for us so that we have a sound approach. I think that as we head into this next season where Bitcoin and currencies and markets will be a very big conversation, I think there's a spotlight upon El Salvador right now. I think there's a spotlight upon a good leader trying to do the best he can in a tough situation, and I believe that Trump is calling him to be more accountable during this time frame. You have to remember, Donald Trump Jr. and I believe Eric Trump went to his inauguration in El Salvador. I don't think that there's any discontent, or I don't think there's any bad blood there. I think that Trump is trying to be a good leader, shining the spotlight upon another leader and putting pressure upon him to keep his criminals in his country as best he can so we can clean up ours, and putting a little spotlight on this Chinese deal, which ultimately has made China more powerful and given them more trade routes and military routes. So if everyone can just take a breath, let these things figure themselves out, and move forward, I think we'll all be in a better situation. So that's my take on Trump and Bukele and what's happening there right now in as logical and level-headed approach as I can possibly give. But of course, this will be mocked on the internet because people just want to fly off the handle with their emotions, and that's okay. This is a very emotional time. I just ask everyone in all these situations to stay calm, stay level, and see what happens next. So until next video, God bless you. God bless this nation. I hope this helps you out and get a little bit of a better understanding. But until next time, I'm Eric Rice. This is The Rice Report. We'll see you then.